Instead, it is given to Artie Owens, trying to get outside, gets outside of Hendricks, and breaks into the secondary and has the first down out near midfield. Cracked down over there by David Pear, the middle guard, who peeled off the line. First down near midfield.
Okay, here we go. One of those down linemen, Willie Jones, who's an excellent football player, but he's got Russ Washington on him, one of the finest off tackles in the game. He gets enough penetration to allow Owens to get outside. When you do that, Jack Tatum had to come from all the way across the field, as did Pear. They moved quickly early.
Well, Klein is back in. Winslow out there alternating. Joyner 18 and Jefferson 83 are your wide receivers. First down from midfield. No score early in the first quarter. Running back straight through, and that is Clarence Williams. He is not a big fullback, less than 200 pounds, less than 6 feet tall, and yet a week ago carried the ball more than anybody else and caught the ball more than anybody else in his first start.
And their offense will be effective as long as this offensive line stays intact. We mentioned the Wilkerson's out. Dan Audick is his replacement. The other four are top-flight offensive linemen.
And offensively, Joyner comes out, and Kellen Winslow is in, but as a wide receiver. Klein stays in. You can either say they got two tight ends, or Winslow replaces Joyner as a wide receiver.
David Casper.
It is second down. And there's Artie Owens. Hey, nice move there, and Owens is near the first down at the 41-yard line, nearly the 40 of the Oakland Raiders, before he is tackled there by Williams, playing on the corner over there. Defensively, Jones is at left end. David Pear, we've seen him make a tackle in the middle, and Dave Browning is on the right side. They use the 34 defense, and that means you've got four linebackers, of course. Their familiar names: the Stork, Ted Hendricks, Monty Johnson, Phil Villapiano, and Rod Martin. Here's the measurement. I think he's going to be a little short, but we'll see. No, sir. Wrong again. And in the backfield, it is Lester Hayes and Monty Jackson at the corners, and Charles Phillips and Jack Tatum at the safeties. First down, no score, 11 minutes, 5 seconds to go. First quarter. And now Joyner is going to check back in. And now they're going to have to get rid of somebody, and that is Kellen Winslow, who races out. Both Joyner and Jefferson, J.J., go wide to the right.
The reverse fake.
Fake. Bouts with all the time in the world. Now has to go to safety. Bob Jefferson over here for a pickup of about 5 yards.
Jimmy, that's a sideline, but he ran it from the opposite side that he lined up. Little fake reverse. Bouts wanted to go down the field. However, Monty Jackson had excellent coverage on the wide receiver. He came off to Jefferson. That's what playing 4 or 5 years in this league will do for you. He comes out there innately. He just knows he's out there if he gets in trouble. Jefferson alertly was ready for the ball, and they picked up 7 easy ones.
While you were watching that replay, you could see Jefferson actually running behind Fouts, and then later you saw him catch the ball. A pickup of 7. It is second down and 2 inside the 35. San Diego the slight favorite in this. Artie Owens tries to get the first down and does inside the 30-yard line. Artie Owens, a converted wide receiver. David Pear again makes the stop. Don Coryell instead of David Pear. Look out, he is a wild man.
Well, David Pear is going to get tested today because Masick is an excellent center. They feel you have to penetrate somewhere in the middle against Oakland. Mentioned earlier, Jim, that the personality of the Oakland down linemen has changed somewhat, and that they're going for smaller people. Merrill Moore, the defensive coordinator, is one who came from Denver. You know, their people are very fast and a little smaller and quick, right in the model of a David Pear.
Drive started on the 35. That's their third first down. Ball just over the 30. Fouts, and this is Clarence Williams, their fullback, and he gets inside the 25-yard line. Second down and short. Other scores, early games. We gave you Buffalo over Cincinnati, 51-24. There have been some big scores today. Tampa Bay was down 17-0 to Baltimore. It's now 17-13 Baltimore, and Landry started for the Colts, not Burt Jones. Look at this. Would you believe that? Pittsburgh 38 and Houston nothing. They were a lot of people saying that was a toss-up. And New England rolled over the New York Jets 56-3. Ex-Redskin Mike Thomas now on the backfield for the Chargers. He carries the number 22. He scored a touchdown. And there's the fake to him, and Fouts throws it out. And that is Jefferson on the far side. Look out, there he goes!
Boy, those are the kind of quarterbacks love to have. Fouts threw a bad ball. Jefferson made a great play out of it. It was a fake to the guy would have been Rookie of the Year last year had there not been Earl Campbell around. Watch this play. Little fake to the offside. The backs really get the flow going. He comes off to Jefferson. Didn't really throw the ball well. Jefferson made an easy catch of it. Runs it in unmolested, and the Chargers take a 6-0 lead.
65-yard drive, and Rolf Wernerski comes in to add the extra point. He's on a string of field goals. He was 3 for 3 at extra points last week, the opening game, and gets that ball up, and it is good. And we have a first score. Well, they say that the Chargers have Raideritis. They've been thinking that people are lurking in the wood piles and behind closed doors, sneaking in on their practices. And some of the newspapers, John Brody, said maybe they're taking the game too seriously. They've taken the ball for the first time and marched 65 yards to score.
I think that when you say maybe they've taken the game too seriously, I think it was a very definite problem that might have existed. I don't see it. When I was in the locker room before the ball game, as you're looking at Don Coryell, a very nervous man before a ball game, his players were really rather loose, and that's usually press talk anyway, Jim. The players are out here to play a football game. They know all that fanfare's over once the ball's in the air, and they better get with it.
All right, Olander will kick it off again. They're sold out, and you will see a lot of yellow in the stadium today. They've been selling Charger Power T-shirts, and they're very excited. They won last week handily over Seattle. There you can see some of the yellow there, sitting in this 80-degree, well, don't call it heat because it's an absolutely outstanding day unless you got to play the ball game down on the field. Then it's liable to be a little hot. They sold 12,000 dozen T-shirts. Hello, I'm Jim Simpson with John Brody. Welcome to those of you watching other games. Houston and Pittsburgh. San Diego's already scored and has kicked off, and Oakland has the ball, and this is what happened in the only score of the ball game thus far.
Okay, Dan Fouts under the controls. Little flow to the left side, and he throws a quick screen to the right side. The impressive thing is Russ Washington, 290 pounds, number 70. He knocks the cornerback down. Lester Hayes had no play. Jefferson made a tough play look easy, and he runs it in for 6.
Oakland had the ball and could not do anything but punt the ball away. By the way, for those who did not see Houston and Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh won it big, 38-7. I'll give you the offense in a moment. That obviously is Kenny Stabler. Was back to throw on first down. Looks downfield and has Morris Bradshaw, and the ball is short. Now quickly it is Stabler, Whittington, and Van Egan in the backfield. Bradshaw and Branch the wide receivers. Raymond Chester tight end. Sylvester and Lawrence the tackles. Upshaw and Marvin the guards, and Dalby at center. And it is for San Diego, Jones, Young, Johnson, and Dean, the front four. Preston in place of Good. Horn and Lowe, the linebackers. Buchanan and Williams at the corners, and Fuller and Edwards, the safeties. It is second down 10 to the 21. 9:06 to go first quarter, and you're all up to date. San Diego leads 7-0. Halfback Whittington bounces around one of his own men and picks up a couple of yards, and that's all. It'll be third down and long.
In the past, you haven't seen many delayed traps, which that was. Whittington runs them best. He's quick. It's the kind of play he will run well as we look at Tom Flores. And Tom is the man that inserted these type of plays into the Oakland offense to utilize a guy like Whittington. And he's done a good job of it.
Bradshaw, number 81 in your picture. Boy, there have been some high-scoring games today. Those of you watching Houston-Pittsburgh, 38 points. But be aware that we'll give you some of the scores, and there are a couple of scores today in the 50s. In the 50s. Third down and long, and Stabler passing down. Has a man. That's Raymond Chester. And Fuller does a good job of wrestling him down. Chester almost burst out of his arms at the 36.
I think that's the best man position in the National Football League. Raymond Chester and David Casper at the same position on the same club. Stabler loves to go to his tight ends, and who wouldn't when you have two like this? Casper may play some today. They'll probably use a lot of tight ends. Casper's forced that situation since Casper's been out. It's been a big break for Raymond. He's been up to the task.
You saw that Pittsburgh-Houston score. We'll have those other scores for you in just a moment. There's Chester getting a start, not only because he's good, but David Casper is late coming to camp. First down for the Raiders, and Stabler's going to throw on first down. Has his man Van Egan coming out of the backfield, and Van Egan's going to meet a few people as he gets out near the 45-yard line. The lead tackler is Woodrow Lowe. But now for some other scores. We told you about those in the 50s. Take a look at some of these scores. There's the Pittsburgh over Houston score. New England 56, and the Jets only 3. Final score. St. Louis was down 14-0, now leads the New York Giants 27-14. That's in East Rutherford this afternoon. Chicago buried Minnesota 26-7. There's another in the 50s. Buffalo 51 and Cincinnati 24. Second down short, Arthur Whittington. Whittington threads his way across the 45-yard line. It'll be third down and very short. And you can see Gary Johnson there, along with Mike Fuller, the strong side safety. Final score, Washington had a 24-3 lead, blew the lead with 2 minutes to go. It was 24 all with 8 seconds to go. Mark Mosley, who was called on for a 70-yarder last week, kicked a 41-yarder with 8 seconds to go to give the Redskins a thriller. And Green Bay shut out in the first half, came back to score 28 in the second half, and hand New Orleans its second loss. Third and short. Russell is in there, and that is Van Egan who carries the ball, and I don't think he got it. Do you?
I'll tell you, Jimmy, Louis Kelcher being out has really put the heat on the defensive linemen. They've had to make a few changes. However, these guys seem to be up to the task. Wilbur Young has come in, got new life at age 32. Gary Johnson's one of those first draft choices that after 3 or 4 years is one of the top defensive linemen in the league. When you can't make a yard, the defense is doing its job.
Ray Guy comes on, number 8, to do the kicking. And this is a spot that Guy would love to back him up. He is excellent at putting the ball out of bounds. He is excellent at kicking the ball great distances. Mike Fuller walks back inside his own 15 to about the 10 to receive the kick. Guy standing his own 32. It's 7-0. Chargers lead. Whoops. There's a very high and very short kick called for by fair catch, and that decidedly is not one of Ray Guy's own men.
And Fuller's putting on an act there. That was a delayed ball.
Hal Stringer knocked him down, one of his own men, as he was knocked into. There's a flag, however, back at the 43-yard line, and it might be that illegal men downfield. And they're pointing, well, watch what happens. You'll see Stringer at 45.
All right, this is a beauty. Stringer gives him a little help. Whoops, better fall down, maybe get something.
They've come back and picked up the flag, and after that very short kick by Ray Guy, it might be that the Chargers are going to hold on. It was a 32-yard punt. Considerably below his average. The officials are still consulting on the field. Bouts is coming in, and I guess we'll get from Bob Frederick, the referee, what happened here in just a moment.
Illegal motion, number 48 on the kicking team, refused. First down.
And that's what happened. We've got 5:47 to go. Time is out on the field. The Chargers on a 24-yard touchdown pass from Danny Fouts to J.J. John Jefferson lead it 7-0. We're in the first quarter.
You've come to fly before the wind, harnessed to a wildcat, leaving the rest of the world behind. So you go for it, making the most of now, from the life you live to the beer you drink. And since 1849, the beer that makes the most out of life is Schlitz.
When you're making it beer, make it this one here. Schlitz makes it great.
Go for it.
Today, National Car Rental is one of the big 3 car rental companies. But getting there wasn't easy. Most of our customers came from the other guys. Why? Maybe it's the top condition of our cars. Maybe it's our terrific counter people.
Your car's ready, sir.
Thank you.
The other guys tell you how good they are. But if they're so good, how did we get so big? National Car Rental. Maybe we're better.
Jim Simpson with John Brody. There's another final, 27-14. The Cardinals down 14-0 have handed their Giants their second loss in as many weeks under new coach Ray Perkins, who a year ago was around this stadium as an offensive coordinator. Jefferson in motion, and Fouts is going to throw on first down, looking for Charlie Joyner, and has him across the 30-yard line and out of bounds at the 35.5-yard line.
Mike Thomas made a very good block to help Joyner. Well-thrown ball by Fouts. He's got some fine receivers, Charlie Joyner and John Jefferson. Joyner runs patterns with anybody in the league. He's been around for quite a while. Bill Walsh has said for a long time, any team I have, I'd like to have Charlie Joyner with me. I think Walsh knows what he's talking about. That time he got some help from Mike Thomas, who just got here from Washington. That's the old teamwork play.
Charlie Joyner. Fouts is 4 for 4 for 50 yards thus far. That is Mike Thomas going in motion, giving instead to Clarence Williams, and I'll see you later. David Pear is in. Now offensively for the Chargers, for those of you who just joined us.
Offensively, Dan Fouts already has 7 points on the board in the first quarter. Clarence Williams did a good job last week. He gets the call at fullback, and Artie Owens, 4-year man out of Virginia, is playing at the halfback spot. They've got a lot of backs to shuffle in and out throughout the afternoon. John Jefferson would have been the Rookie of the Year had Earl Campbell not been around last year. Bob Klein, a veteran, does a good job at tight end. And Charlie Joyner, who we just saw catch that pass at the receiver.
Second down and 12 and a half to go. J.J. Jefferson almost went to the wrong side. He's on the same side that Kellen Winslow, the rookie from Missouri, a tight end, is playing wide. Flags will go down there, but Fouts still has a play and throws it out and throws it short. Intended for Mike Thomas, the ex-Redskin, who last week had 32 yards in 6 plays, including an 8-yard touchdown run.
Willie Jones may have caused Russ Washington to jump just a little before the snap of the ball. It happens a lot on pass plays. Tackles know the speed of their respective defensive linemen. Jones has got a lot of speed. He got started a little early, I believe.
4:49 left, first quarter. Out at 7-0, the Chargers. And let me tell you that Bob Frederick is our referee. I've already told you that. Lou Palazzi, the umpire this afternoon. Head linesman is Sid Seaman. Line judge Dave Hawk. Bill Swanson is the back judge. The side judge, that's the new man last year, is Vince Jacob. And the field judge is Bob Wortman. And this is only the second game of the season, but this is about the 4th conference I have seen.
And you'll notice Jack Tatum is in the middle of it. He has been voted by his teammates as the defensive captain since Willie Brown retired last year. And they think an awful lot of Jack Tatum. He's taking a lot of reps. What? you heard Villapiano's reaction.
Defense encroachment is what we have.
And let's get back to the offensive line.
The offensive line is an outstanding one. Dan Audick is taking Wilkerson's place. He was injured, you recall. Billy Shields and Russ Washington are outstanding tackles. Ed White's been a great one for a long time.
Now they're saying it is offside, regardless of what Villapiano said. It is offside. And it is second down. That was funny. Defensively, Willie Jones, Dave Terra, and Dave Browning are on the front 3 for the Raiders. Hendricks, Johnson, Villapiano, and Martin are the linebackers. And your deep men are Hayes and Jackson and Phillips and Tatum. All right, it's second down and 7. Fouts having a good day early on, throws across the middle. There's Kellen Winslow, and Jack Tatum is hitting him. Ball is across the 40-yard line. It'll be third down and 3 or 4 to go. Kellen Winslow meeting up with Jack Tatum for the first time. Winslow, an outstanding tight end. Those are the defensive backs we told you about, including a great acquisition for the Raiders when they got Monty Jackson to play that right corner spot. Third and short. Winslow goes wide to the right. Jefferson comes to the left, and so does Joyner. Kinlaw, who blocked the kick, is in as they've gone into a 4-3 to get a little pass rush here. As Fouts goes back, has the time, though, and has Mike Thomas first down. Knocked out of bounds by Rob Martin. Thomas makes the catch at the 49.
Rod Martin had the play covered pretty well, Jim. But a guy like Mike Thomas is invaluable to a team that throws the ball a lot. He's an excellent pass receiver. I had a chance to play with his brother Jimmy when I was with the 49ers. He was of the same cut. Very good after he caught the ball and just had a sense for finding the open area.
Chargers are walking backwards. Flag thrown at the 39-yard line, and they'll step it off from the 43, the line of scrimmage, and I think we may have a holding penalty coming up. Let's listen to Bob Frederick.
Offensive holding, number 60.
And so on third and long, they go back to the 34 defense, bringing in, whoops, let's just say leave out the linebacker, keep 4 men rushing, and let's now have a nickel defense in there as they figure that Fouts really is going to the air this time.
These are things that Oakland really didn't do a lot of in the past. I think Merle Moore has had a lot to do with that. They play all kinds of different defenses.
That's the third one in the last 3 downs they have been in. Here's Fouts back to throw. Everybody knows it. Got a man out there, and Clarence Williams can't hang on to the ball. Right on top of him was Rob Martin.
Boy, and he had it all set up, Jim. I tell you, Ed White was out in front of it. When you can get your guard out in front of a good running back with only 1 man between you and that first down line, that play could have gone for a long way. You can see the reaction of Fouts.
Jeff West has come on. Cleveland leading Kansas City. Remember, the Chiefs shut out Baltimore last week. That's the first quarter score. And San Francisco over Dallas 3-0 first quarter.
Hang in there, Niners.
West put a couple out within the 20, but he is not a long kicker at all. And the up man will take it, and that is Ira Matthews, and he gets a good couple of blocks, and there goes Matthews. I tell you what, he gets across the 50. A flag is down at the 33, maybe clipping. But we were talking with Oakland officials about Ira Matthews. They said, no, he's not too quick. He's just a little shifty. He looked pretty quick and shifty to me.
Oh, that shifty and quick business, it just seems like what cliche at the right time. He's a good punt returner. He's going to do a good job for Oakland, and I think they need that.
It is a clipping penalty to be charged against the Raiders. Will put Kenny Stabler and company back in the hole again. It'll be marked off from the 33-yard line. Take it back inside the 20, down to the 18-yard line.
Clipping, number 52 on the kick return. First down.
That is Greg Westbrooks. And we've got 3 minutes, 38 seconds to go. A long way to go, folks. San Diego leads it in the early on, 7-0.
Want higher mileage? Chrysler Corporation is #1 in gasoline mileage of the big three. Now Chrysler offers a $400 rebate. Come see your Dodge or Chrysler Plymouth dealer. Make your best deal on these Chrysler and Plymouth cars, and Chrysler will top it with a $400 check sent directly to you. Get a Chrysler New Yorker, get a check. Get a Newport or Cordova, get a check. Get a Chrysler LeBaron or a Plymouth Volare. Make your best deal and get a $400 check directly from Chrysler. Get a Dodge Diplomat, get a check. Get a St. Regis, get a check. Get a Magnum, get an Aspen, get a Dodge van or a full-size pickup. Make your best deal.
And 14 more weeks to go before we even hit the playoffs. Round 3, weekend 3 next Sunday. At 1 o'clock, those are your games. New England, Cincinnati, Denver, Atlanta, Baltimore, Cleveland. At 2, Miami, Minnesota, Kansas City, Houston. At 4, Oakland, Seattle, Pittsburgh, St. Louis, and Buffalo, San Diego. First down, Stabler back to throw. Stabler loops it, and look out, it is intercepted by Preston, who last week made his third start of his career and had 2 interceptions, and that one was right in his hands for a third, and the setup of a possible second score. Look what happened.
Jim, I've got to believe the 2 he picked off last week were a lot more difficult than this one he just dropped. He got a little anxious. He saw nothing but goal line and looked like he might get all the way and give the Chargers a big lead early. That's the kind of break that can change a whole ball game.
The Oakland Raiders have already been penalized twice. Last week, in their game in which they beat the Rams, were only penalized 4 times in the entire game. And the clipping penalties put them back inside the 20, second down and 10. And Preston must still be talking to himself. First man through, that is Van Eaton. The fullback gets out across the 20, and Stabler is faced with third and long again. He has not had too much luxury or too good field position throughout this first part of the first quarter.
I really think it makes it a little more difficult early in the season when the baseball season is still going on to play on these infields, because that dirt gets on the ball. Early in the game, it gets very slick, and until a little sweat gets rubbed in, that baby may be a little tough to throw.
Pete Shaw comes in, and Bob Horn, the middle linebacker, goes out as Don Coryell's group goes to the nickel defense. 5 defensive backs on third down and 7 to go. And Stabler waits, and gets the ball away and tries to thread it at the 35-yard line to Cliff Grant. But it's incomplete, and Ray Guy, who had a 31-yard punt last time, will come on again.
Well, they had a team meeting back there where Branch was located. 3 players converged very well on the ball. Pretty good pass protection. Stabler has had enough time to throw. His receivers have been pretty well covered. Pretty good pass rush. Oakland has not been able to move so far, and that's a good reason.
Ken Stabler threw 3 touchdown passes last week. The only one in the AFC to do that today is 2 of 6 for 20 yards as we begin. And now Ray Guy, who did not get off a good kick last time, is within his own 10 and looking for a boomer this time. Chargers lead it by a touchdown. Gets away a beauty. Driving Fuller back inside the 25-yard line, back to the 22-yard line. Fuller comes straight up the middle and almost to the 40-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10, and Dan Fouts, conversely, has excellent field position. A 56-yard punt. 2:43 to go. We're in the first quarter, and the Chargers on the 24-yard touchdown pass to John Jefferson lead 7-0.
I got my start playing golf driving a tractor.
Arnold Palmer, back home in Latrobe, Pennsylvania.
My father was pro here, but before he taught me to play golf, he taught me to treat the equipment right. So we used Pennzoil, and I think that old
not thus far anyway. First down. It is 5 of 6 for 55 yards for Fouts as he hands off to the very quick back running through there, Mike Thomas. And Thomas picks up 6 or 7 yards. We've got 2 minutes, 35 seconds to go. First quarter.
You think Mike Thomas doesn't think he's in heaven? He's got Russ Washington and Ed White out in front of him. Here you see Washington blocking on Willie Jones, the rookie. Fouts knows he's got to take advantage of it early. If there is a vulnerability, it should be over there. No matter how good Jones is going to be, it's got to be a mismatch against Washington today.
One of the problems with the Washington Redskins when Thomas was there was the offensive line. He would love to have had Ed White and Russ Washington in front of him. Second down and short. About 3 after the 7-yard gain. Fouts stumbles a bit, and look out! John Jefferson cannot hold on to it at the 27-yard line. Almost an outstanding, leaping, stretching catch. And don't take anything away from Fouts, who had to drill this one on the money, too.
Well, it was a double coverage. Tatum was coming up. He had to throw it right where he did. If the man really was not open, Jefferson is his man. He's got to go to him covered or not. He figures he can come up with it on enough occasions to make it worthwhile. You'll notice no one is going into a shell. It took these two teams 10 meetings before the winner scored less than 30 points. So the ball will be in the air all day.
Third down and 3. Fouts 5 of 7, 56 yards. Stabler 2 of 6 for 20 yards. Fouts going to the air, has the time, pumps once, and now look out, Bob Klein, touchdown, folks, no doubt about it. 54 yards on a third and short.
I saw Jack Tatum looking back that time. It's very difficult to make one defensive back responsible. I know it was not Tatum's man. It was over the position that Charlie Phillips is responsible for. I do not know if he was sucked in, if he made a commitment, forgot about Klein. We may see it in a replay, and we may not. But Fouts is just going back to throw. Simple little pass rush. Phillips may have bitten. You can see him standing there watching. Tatum looked back to say, hey, what's going on, Charlie? And Klein's got another score, and it's 13-zip.
And Erskine comes in to add the extra point. And does so. The San Diego fans are thrilled, but they remember a year ago it was virtually the same kind of ball game. San Diego quickly in front, and then with no time left, the Immaculate Deception beat them on that forward fumble. That's not allowed anymore, but it could be the same kind of game. Pipers thrown 17 yards to Reggie Rucker, and Cleveland is leading Kansas City 10-0. Browns trying for their second in a row. Well, Bob Klein will remember that touchdown, won't he? Not because it was a touchdown, he was open. That's the longest reception he's ever had in his long career in the National Football League. Joe Stewart will return his first kick of the day. He is very quick. Second man out of Missouri, and look out for him. Look out for him. He is quick as can be. And inside the 40-yard line goes Joe Stewart. There are no flags down, and for the first time today, the Raiders and Ken Stabler have some operating room.
Well, they better get some. If they don't get it but with their special teams, they better create some offensively. Stewart was an excellent special teams man last year, made the team because of it. He's having another fine season this year, even though it's early. This is just real fine broken field running, and when he comes out of the last tackle by the kicker, he's still got enough balance to get up and have another go at it before he's brought down after about a 60-yard return.
They have put the nose of the ball almost on the 40-yard line of the Chargers. Whittington in motion to the right, and Stabler back to throw on first down. Looking down, and he's got Raymond Chester inside the 20-yard line and down near the 15. First down and 10 to go, Oakland. Chester again was open, not quite as open as Bob Klein, but very open until he got to the ball.
Well, it looked as if they were trying to double the outside receivers. How many times have you seen them do that against Oakland? They don't do it long. We see the linebacker responsible for coverage all over the field. He could not handle Chester. He gets a quick 24 yards before he's brought down, and Oakland's back on the move.
And Dave Casper is in the ball game. Number 87, Casper comes in. 58 seconds to go, first quarter. Oakland trying to get on the board for the first time. That was a 25-yard pass play. Whittington with the football. Whittington gets a couple of yards inside the 15-yard line. It'll be second down at about 7. Gary Johnson.
If you're going to have two tight ends in the game, I'll take Casper and Chester. Thank you very much. This is Casper's second appearance in the ball game. His first appearance in normal offensive situations. You can tell he's an excellent blocker. People usually see him catching the ball, but he can do it all.
Second down and 7 to go. The ball at the 12-yard line. 14-0. San Diego, they're slightly favored. There's the scoring drive. Their other scoring drive was of 65 yards, so they've not gone short distances. 10 seconds to go in the quarter. Chester this time is in motion. Stabler with flag is down across the middle, and the ball is caught. And down goes Chester, but a flag went down long before Stabler got rid of the ball. Time has run out in the quarter, and we'll see what's happening. Could be holding, of course, because Stabler didn't even get rid of the ball before they blew the whistle.
It was thrown so quickly it had to be holding, Jimmy.
So we'll just wait for Bob Frederick to tell us what it is, and then they will signal that the first quarter is over, and then they'll go down the other end of the field. Takes it back to the 22-yard line. It'll still be second down.
Offensive holding, number 63.
That's the veteran Gene Upshaw, and that is the end of the first quarter. Well, Sandy, they're in the second quarter. Dallas 3 and San Francisco 3. It is second down and 17 to go, and Stabler's back to throw. And in trouble, and gets the ball away. Just underthrown, intended for Whittington. No chance at all to say that ball was thrown away because Whittington was right there with a possible reception.
That was an excellent play by Stabler, Jimmy. He gets a safety blitz from Glenn Edwards. Both safety men came. He has to get outside. As he gets out around, he knows he's got nowhere to go with the ball. Fred Dean, being as fast as he does, ran Stabler down. He does a good job just to get rid of it.
Derek Jensen, number 31, comes in on third down. Second quarter, Cleveland and Kansas City still 10-0. Third down, 17. And there goes Derek Jensen on the draw play, and he's not going to get enough, but maybe enough to get inside so that Jim Breach can come in and at least get Oakland on the scoreboard. Breach is coming on. Breach was drafted by Detroit a year ago, lasted through 8 or 9 games, and then they cut him. But he's out of the University of California, where he set all kinds of kicking records.
We've had a real situation where we've got a lot of new kickers. I can't believe that Roy Girella, Garo Yepremian, and Errol Mann are all looking for work. Girella was in the Pro Bowl last year. I guess that doesn't mean much.
Well, how about Yepremian? He wound up last year with 16 straight field goals. Miami without him, and there are no scores. Seattle was beaten last year. This is from the 25-yard line, a 35-yard attempt, and the Oakland Raiders are on the scoreboard. That is Jim Breach hitting Owens 24. And it's going to be short, and it's going to be Artie Owens at the 14-yard line. At the 20, look out, down he goes. He got it at the 14, a kickoff, and just did get inside the 20. Well, speaking of sports world, remember that early to 17.
I tell you, when you get a little offense into a ball club, you can come back from those 17 zip deficits, and that's just what Tampa Bay has got.
Mike Washington returned an intercepted pass 53 yards for the go-ahead score. Bounce back, dumps it over the middle, and right past his tight end Bob Klein. Second down.
Intended for number 84.
That looked like a very silly play, but Klein was blinded by Willie Jones then. I know he never did see Fouts as he went to throw the ball, and if he had, it would have been an easy 15, 20-yard pickup because it was a delay pattern that the backers had left unguarded, but he just couldn't see past Jones and into Fouts.
Fouts is 6 of 9 for 109 yards. Here's Miami out in front of Seattle. Bob Greasy to Matt Moore, and they missed the extra point, and your premium's not winning there. I'm not building a case for Garo, but they've had some troubles with their kicking department. Block kick almost beat him last week. Fouts, and this time Kevin Winslow cannot hold on to the ball at the 29-yard line. The number 1 draft choice from Missouri. They think the world of Winslow. After all, he weighs 252. He is 6'5 and a half, and they say he can run.
Well, he can run. I think it's indicative of that is the fact he's playing out there at wide receiver. That was a delay pattern. You'd love to have a big man coming in the middle on a delay pattern, particularly with Tatum cruising that middle. Not too many people throw effectively in the middle. So far today, San Diego has done so.
Third down and 10. Our telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or the use of this telecast without the express written consent of the San Diego Chargers and the National Football League is prohibited. 5 defensive backs on third down 10 from the 21-yard line. And Fouts back to throw again. Gets it over the middle, and this is Jefferson dragged down shy of the first down at the 30-yard line. They've got to get to the 31-yard line. And on comes Jeff West to kick the ball away.
It looked like a good offensive play, but the play was really made by Lester Hayes, who came all the way across the field. It was a tough job to follow Jefferson in the middle of the field. The ball was thrown well, and he still held him short of a first down.
Ira Matthews, who had an excellent return here just moments ago, as did Joe Stewart, is the lone safety man. And Jeff West is in for his second punt, standing on his 15-yard line. 13:18 to go. We're in the second quarter. And San Diego's out in front. 14-3. Whoops, down goes, and a flag goes down. Flag goes down. Ira Matthews takes the ball at the 25-yard line, and the Oakland Raiders, who have penalized over the kicker, and give him another shot.
That's as big a play as is an interception. Lester Hayes knows it.
Running into the kicker, number 47, first down.
And very seldom does he get caught short doing something like that. Now he's got to go play defense. He may get picked on because you know if they throw in his area, he's going to try to make up for the play. It's the best time to try and pick on a defensive
Well,
back.
they said 47, Charlie Phillips. We had it as 37, Hayes. The crowd that you see, and we'll repeat again, all of that yellow in there is for Charger Power. Their T-shirts, and they show 12,000 dozen T-shirts. First down, the ball on the 35-yard line of San Diego. They get a reprieve. Jefferson in motion. And the ball is loose, and it's going to be Oakland's, and the flag goes down. Fouts, I think, came away without the ball.
Yeah, and I think the whistle was blown before the ball was picked up. So you know Oakland will not get possession.
Well, I know that Rob Martin just threw the ball down to the ground, which means he doesn't think they're going to get possession either.
Sometimes, Jim, the center misses the count. Everybody's ready to go. The game's in action, and the ball is still in the center's possession on the ground. And it looked to me like that happened.
Ball starts. Offensive team. First down.
First and 15. That is the first penalty for San Diego all day. And we told you that Oakland thus far, I said 3, but they're actually 4, which totals what they had all last week against the Rams. First down and 15 to go. Jefferson and Joyner both come wide right, and Kellen Winslow, that dangerous tight end, is split out as a wide receiver left. Oh, that's Martini in there. And they may go to Martini right here, and it's too long. Holding up, these are handkerchiefs, and you can see the T-shirts they've got. They had advertisements in the newspapers here in San Diego today saying, get some superpower, get some Charger power, support the Chargers. And a Los Angeles newspaper is the one that actually dubbed this as the mini Super Bowl. You know, a second week of the season, that's stretching the imagination a little bit far, but that's the way the people down here in San Diego think of it.
I think people will settle for the fact it's the biggest interconference game on the West Coast so far this year, and that's not bad.
Second down and 15. Jefferson in motion, and Fouts looking to throw. As time dumps it off to number 88, McCrary, who's got a lot of running room and is going to get the first down. Up near midfield.
Jim, Greg McCrary. They drafted Winslow first. They've got Bob Klein playing tight end, and the McCrary's come on and did a fine job. Indicative of these tight ends' speed is the fact that they play both McCrary and Winslow at wide on occasion. That means after you catch the ball, you can do something with it. And at 245 pounds, when you can go after you get the ball on a screen, you're pretty good talent.
First down, and remember, running into the kicker, and able the Chargers to hang on to this ball and set up this play by McCrary and Fouts. 12:15 to go in the half. 14-3, Chargers. They were slightly favored in this game. Fouts having a good day. Pitch back, and this for the first time today is Bo Matthews in there, and Matthews picks up 7 yards down to the 45-yard line. And again, Fouts has the ability now to work with a second and short situation.
And he loves that second and short situation. Any quarterback knows that when you have the luxury to work with a second and short, by that we mean 2 yards to go, 3 yards to go. It's a real big play down if you utilize it, not just throwing for a touchdown, but 15, 20-yard out patterns. All types of screens will be effective in that situation. Right now, Fouts has got his pick of the litter. He can do just about what he wants. I can't figure out what he's going to do next, and neither do the Raiders.
Well, Coryell knows because he sent the play in with Charlie Joyner. On second down and short, he's going to give it to Bo Matthews, and they're going to have third down and short inside the 45-yard line. Willie Jones and David Pear made the stop as the clock continues to run here in the second quarter. And now Bob Klein comes on. There's Rolf Benerski, and he has had since last year a stomach problem. And I wouldn't pretend to get into the medical profession's business, but the best I can understand it is he doesn't want to eat. It makes him nauseous to eat. And last year, he went from 175 to 150. Someone interviewed him last week, and he said, this isn't going to be about my stomach again, is it? I stay off the scales, and I don't want to read about it.
Well, he may not like to eat, but he better do a little bit of it because the body does need some.
All right, Matthews tries for the first down, and that's going to be close. He may have it. He may not have it.
I think he got it with his second effort, Jim.
At the 42-yard line. Jack Tatum is the one who gave him the hit. Tom Flores across the field.
Okay, short yardage situation. Ted Hendricks holds his ground. He comes inside on the play. Matthews is stopped at the line of scrimmage. Good defensive play. However, not good enough, I do not think.
Now the question is, as they come on, no matter what happens, first down, I would believe they're going to go for it. They think they've got the first down. And it's certainly, well I was wrong one more time.
Yes, sir. Both of us are.
And so Clarence Williams has come in. And the crowd here wants them to go for it. Tampa Bay, well, things are going bad for Baltimore, aren't they?
Jimmy,
get another one.
Jim, this is a situation. If they're going for it, there is some short yardage weakness they think that they can take advantage of. You don't just say all of a sudden, okay, let's go for it. Just everybody hit somebody and see what we can pick up. They will try something that they have rehearsed and rehearsed and rehearsed in this situation, and they think it will work.
Well, Hank Bauer is the man who usually gets the ball. He is excellent in short yardage situations, number 37, and he is in there. He usually gets the ball. Let's see what happens. Now, it is the second man through, and that is Clarence Williams. And he's down near the 40-yard line, and I think he's got the first down.
He's got it. Credit Ed White and Russ Washington. You see Coryell looking to the bench saying, yeah, we thought so. When you have Russ Washington, you've got a luxury that a lot of teams don't have.
It has been all San Diego thus far.
You see Ted Hendricks doing his job again. He slips underneath Bob Klein. Russ Washington doing his job on Willie Jones. You don't have to pick up much. They didn't, but they've got enough.
Mike Thomas had an outstanding quarter, but Artie Owens, who started, came back in, and he is in there now. Miami's still leading Seattle. Second quarter now, 6-0. Cleveland over Kansas City, 10-0, also in the second quarter. First down. And that is Jefferson. And there's a ball thrown past the outstretched hands.
Oh, boy.
How about that? Look at that. Charlie Joyner getting up.
You don't get very many opportunities like that. Joyner got inside of Jackson. Tatum was going to try and pick the ball off as he tried to make his move, and he was crouching down to hide from Fouts' vision. He slipped. If it had been a well-thrown ball, Joyner was in the end zone.
All the scores, you're watching some of them now. Special features on NFL 79 at halftime. And it has been a surprising day, and the points that have been scored, and some of the teams that have won, and some of the teams that have lost. 9:34 to go. We're in the second quarter, and it's 14-3. Fouts loops it and looking for Jefferson, and what a play! He goes down, and he is knocked down there by Lester Hayes, who has his hands full today. But I want to tell you, that is the second catch we've seen him make today of that leaping variety.
Well, that is a planned play. When you've got a man one-on-one with his back turned to the quarterback, all the quarterback has to do is get it high enough and let the receiver take care of the ball. Fouts gets it up in the air. Tarkington was a master at that. There are a lot of quarterbacks. When you have a receiver like this, I can remember in the old days I had a David Parks. If he gets one-on-one with somebody, put it up there and let him do the work. Jefferson will get it done for you.
Jefferson got the job done there, and of course that Oakland defense, you almost know the numbers by heart now. They've been out there a long while. And here we are midway in the second quarter. Oakland has had very few drives, one of which they stalled themselves by guilty hope they've lost the football. And I do believe that Villapiano got on it. I think that number 41 is on it. And that is who is standing up, Phil Villapiano. And that's the second time today they've had a mix-up in there between the quarterback and their center Masick. And that stops San Diego for the moment.
And what's rare about this is Masick and Fouts have worked a long time together. The handoff never was in Fouts' hands cleanly. You can see he knows it's gone. That ball attracts the crowd swiftly, and the offense never had a chance to get it back.
8:41 left in the first half under sunny skies in Southern California. And right now, well, a little disappointment for the Chargers, but they're up by 11 points.
In business.
I'm with you. First down on the fumble recovery by Villapiano after 13 plays that the Chargers had the ball for. Stabler all by himself is Whittington. Whittington's got some speed and has a good move, too, doesn't he? And a shoestring tackle is responsible for bringing him down at the 21-yard line. Bob Horn just got his hands around his ankles to send Whittington down.
Okay, Oakland has to do something. They haven't been throwing the ball on first down as much as they might in a little bit if they don't start moving better. Stabler's back doing what he likes to do best, gets the ball to Whittington, and he almost breaks loose. This is when a guy like Whittington is really valuable. Get him in the secondary and let him do his thing.
A gain of 6 yards, 2nd down and 4 to go. Stabler again, going on nearly every down. Look out, down he goes. Boy, he had to snatch after that ball, too. It almost got away from him, but I'm sure he was down before it scored him. This time it was Wilbur Young, who last week against Seattle had 8 sacks and also picked up a fumble. Let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network. 7:49 to go. It's 14-3.
And, you know, their offense has played very well, Jim, but San Diego's defense has been extremely tough to penetrate. In the past, it was easy to score on San Diego. They say they've got a lot of more depth defensively. It certainly shows today.
3rd down and 13. Stabler now 5 of 10 for 53 yards, and he's going to have to put up yet another one, and has the man out there, and it's intercepted by Woodrow Lowe at the 21-yard line.
He's going in.
Lowe has excellent blocking, and he does not go down. How about that? He stays on his feet and stumbles into the end zone. And I'll tell you something, one man's opinion. Chargers are going to be tough to catch today.
You think an offense can't bring a city alive? San Diego is dressed in orange, and they're all waving their towels right now. Woodrow Lowe on a beautiful return. Excellent interception. You can see the dismay of Stabler. He fires the ball, gets a good pass rush, and it really gives Woodrow Lowe a chance to get to the ball. When he does, all of his blocking forms and reverses his field. He catches all the Oakland linemen in hot pursuit on the other side of the field. And all the way in.
Barneske comes in to add the extra point. Stabler was not intercepted last week against the Rams. Stabler and the Raiders last week benefited by a couple of blocked punts and a recovered fumble, and now their own penalties today, and a flag goes down. Now Hayes is in there, and you can see Barneske is down on the ground, and they throw a flag. Holding on to this world again. It has an early time next week, 3 o'clock Eastern time, 12 noon Pacific time, and the greatest of the great bowling tournament. We've already told you about that. But then they got that world record high dive attempt. You'll see it live from Baltimore, where I would imagine as you take a look at us on this warm day, Colts fans are liable to take a high dive if the Colts keep on going like they're going.
Tell you, this baby has the makings of a rout if Stabler doesn't get him back in the game pretty quick, because everybody's so enthusiastic down here, and you know that San Diego's offense is not going to take any of the heat off if their defense keeps playing the way they are. It may be a long one.
32-yard return by Woodrow Lowe. And Barneske came off under his own power, and the fans have been booing since we left you. And Olander was the man who San Diego defense is playing fine football this afternoon. Ira Matthews at the 6-yard line. To the 20 and gets out to the 25-yard line. And now with 7:10 to go in the first half. If the Raiders are to stave this off, remember the Raiders were down 14-0 last week against the Rams and pulled it out, and now they're down by 18 points, 21-3. First down at the 25. Matthews, after the 20-yard kickoff return, goes to the sideline, and Stabler comes on again.
Tempers are getting a little bit close. Bauer just thought he'd give him a little extra nudge, make sure he knew he was around, and the game is getting a little exciting.
Branch to the left, Bradshaw to the right. And Stabler does not pass the ball. Van Egen's got it, and he's not going very far. And that's what John is talking about right there.
They are not winning the game at the line of scrimmage on either side. Now, that's just the way San Diego's been doing it, and I guess the score is an indication.
There's that Charger power we've been talking about. San Diego scored 33 last week. I told you that. That's the most points in an opening game for them in 14 years. And they've already got 21 today. So I would have to say they're slightly for real, don't you think? In their ability to score. There's Stabler. Oh, he got the time and now drills it to the man coming back, and it's near a first down. I believe that's Raymond Chester when they get everybody up out of there that brought the ball running into the kicker that gave the Chargers another chance. Third down, 3 to go. And it's a short 3 at that. Stabler, indication what he's got to do. If he can get it away, and does, and he's got Van Egan, and he's got the first down. And Van Egan is across the 50-yard line, and it is first down as Oakland moves into San Diego territory.
Here's a good look at a great move that really goes unnoticed oftentimes. Stabler's back in the pocket. He's got a pretty good rush on him. Look at Dalby. He moves somebody around. He just takes a step up. He finds his primary receiver covered, has the presence of mind to come off to Van Egan, and he picks up a good gainer out of a bad play.
Ball at the 49-yard line. Again, Branch left and Bradshaw right, and this time Derek Jensen replaces Van Egan, who was shaken up a little bit after making that fine run. From the 49, Stabler just coming out throwing, isn't he? Again, and he's got a man that's intercepted again and pulled down from behind. That's the second interception, of course. The first is by Woodrow Lowe. This is by Glenn Edwards.
Pine got that one. He played it the whole way. Stabler went back to throw and really had nobody open. He did not see Edwards, and as a result, Edwards has got his first interception of the year.
Glenn Edwards is a man that was the MVP on a Steeler team that went to the Super Bowl in '74, and that's the kind of man that they need to help a young Charger team believe that it can play this ball game.
Well, sometimes people give up on a good football player a little prematurely. I think this was the case in Edwards' situation. He's come to San Diego and had 2. Well, last year was an excellent year, and he's well on his way this time.
From the 42, fourth quarter, Baltimore a little bit closer. It's 26-23, and all the scores of what's happened thus far will be an NFL 79. And Fouts is back, and Fouts is putting it up high for Burton, and Burton can't get it at the 2-yard line. There's a man, talk about speed, and he was well covered, but Burton was 4th in the 200 meters in the Olympic Games. He is a speed burner.
When that ball was thrown, Lester Hayes knew his speed and had about 4 yards, a 4-yard edge on him. However, Burton outran the angle. Fouts just took a chance. They're putting a lot of pressure out there on Lester Hayes. They've left him one-on-one throughout most of the afternoon. Against receivers the likes of the Chargers, that's a tough job.
Fouts at one time was 5 out of 6. Now he's 9 of 15, 158 yards, and scoring touchdown passes to Jefferson and Klein. Second down 10. 4:43 to go. First half. And the fake to Artie Owens. Play action, and look out! The ball is tipped and still nearly caught by Jefferson. Jefferson was covered very well by number 42, Monty Jackson. A man in front of Jefferson tipped it, and still Jefferson nearly got it.
That's an amazing reaction. That ball was deflected about 6 yards in front of him. He was well in stride on his pattern. As the ball was deflected, he just changed his reaction to it and did a good job to knock it down.
Well, you can see it was Charles Phillips who deflected the ball away. So now it is third down and 10, and 5 defensive backs have taken their place for the Oakland defense. Trying to hold here and get something on the board. They've gotten a field goal only. It has been all San Diego here in the first half. Jefferson in motion as Fouts goes back, out under pressure, and now as he gets it loose, that ball is up for grabs and almost intercepted by a diving Charles Phillips. What is fourth down? And Jeff West will come on.
Fouts, he didn't have to do that.
Here's Jeff West, standing on his own 43-yard line, and Ira Matthews is the deep man. This time, they knock a man into Jeff West as Ira Matthews calls for the fair catch at the together. We've got 4:25 to go, and the score: San Diego 21, and the Oakland Raiders. And we'll come back to sunny San Diego. That's JJ at his goggles, which are not unusual in the National Football League. And as I recall, it's not because there's anything wrong with his eyes that he has gotten a finger in the eye more than once and said, nuts to that, I'll wear some goggles.
Hasn't seemed to impair him much.
First down, ball handed off to Whittington, and Whittington scoots across the 20-yard line. And that's one of the best running plays on first down, and one of the rare running plays on first down that the Raiders have had. Miami now in front of Seattle by the score of 6-3. The Dolphins having problem with their kicking game today. They had a touchdown and the extra point was missed. And the Dolphins having problems scoring, period.
And Seattle's having a little trouble getting their act underway.
Yeah, they were considered a real dark horse. Second down, and hold it. Flags down everywhere. And now this time, the Raiders will pick up a first down on the penalty.
Gary Johnson, I think, jumped up a little bit too quick.
Ball will be moved from the 24-yard line out to the 29-yard line. Bob Frederick is saying, what number is it, please? He'll tell us.
Encroachment on the defense, number 73. First down.
That would be DeJournay, and I'm looking out there for DeJournay, and he is in now as the right defensive end, as Dean is taking a seat for the moment. They're having some problems with injuries. Kelcher, the biggest injury. We don't know whether or not. Well, here comes Van Egan, and Van Egan pulls for 5 or 6 yards, and the Raiders all of a sudden, instead of lying down and playing dead, have had a good running play by Whittington, a penalty against the defensive line of San Diego, and then Van Egan runs off a nice game.
Actually, I think we alluded to the fact that that's what they have to do. You get good running plays on first down when your offensive line wins their game at the line of scrimmage. That's happened on the previous 2 plays, and it's going to have to continue to happen for them to move the ball, because their linebackers are just dropping back off the line of scrimmage at the snap of the ball. 7 people are very hard to throw through.
Well, what they're pointing at is there was a fan over-eager who raced onto the field, and he is less eager now, and he's being taken off the field. And that's why, because he was heading right for the huddle of the San Diego Chargers. Next weekend, NFL 79 kicks it off at 12:30 Eastern Time. A bundle of games at different times at 1, 2, and 4 o'clock. So check for the games in your area. There are some big ones. Oakland will have to wrestle with Seattle, and Pittsburgh at St. Louis. St. Louis is down by 14 points today and came back to win it. Buffalo will be here in San Diego. Second down, short yardage, about 3. Whoops. Nobody's got the ball.
It is, yeah.
And Dalby falls on it.
Now there's a play. The center knew that the pass was bad from center and went right under Stabler's legs. He never did touch the ball. Dalby knew it, turned around, was the first one to react to it, and as a result got the ball. Watch this. He knows it's a bad center. Whoops, let's get on that, baby. And before everybody else realizes it, Dalby's got it back again.
Well, in a situation like this not too long ago, well, in San Diego territory, holding was the charge, and now as they began to move out and add second down and short yardage, they find themselves with third down and a good 15 to go.
Jim, I have
5 defensive backs.
I have not seen Dave Dalby deliver a bad snap in 3 years that I've watched him, and the same happened with Masick earlier in the game with Fouts.
Third down coming up on the 2-minute mark, and Van Egan will try to get some of that back, and he's going to get a lot of it back and may get the first down out near the 40-yard line. Well, he threw them back on the bad snap from Dalby through the legs of Stabler, and then on a simple sweep by Van Egan with some excellent blocking, they pick up a first down.
I'll tell you, credit Henry Lawrence. He got out in front of this play. He's weighing about 275 pounds. Look at this. This big man out in front picks the right man. He leaves Van Egan to get away from Fuller. He knocks the cornerback backwards, Willie Buchanan, and Van Egan picks up the first.
That's the 5th first down for the Oakland Raiders. The Chargers have had 10. The Chargers lead 21-3. Jensen and Whittington, your running backs. Now Jensen, the lone setback, and he's going to get the ball on a quick pitch and gets a good block. And Jensen picks up about 3 to 4 yards near the 43-yard line. It'll be second down and long as Dean back in, number 71, made the stop.
They're picking it up in small chunks, Jim, but I think the reason is, again, the offensive line. That time Sylvester got out and made a good block on the cornerback, and they're picking up the tempo a little.
2 minutes to go. It has been all if they can. Stabler
is going to Whittington. Nope.
Over near the sidelines and has a man for the first down across the way. And for the first catch, that is Morse Bradshaw. For the day, he had a couple of catches last week against the Rams.
Well, that pattern took a long time to develop, Jim. He's going back there and hanging in there, and he's not really getting enough time to throw that type of pattern yet in this ball game. He waited till the last possible second to be able to get that ball there.
Ball is on the 44 now of San Diego, and the clock is running with 1.5 minutes left in the half. Bradshaw again to the right and Branch to the left. And now Stabler's got at least 4 downs with which to work. And about 79. Look out, he's setting up the screen out here, and Jensen steps by, but will be hit from behind. Peeling back on a fine play was Wilbur Young. All 290-plus pounds of him.
No wonder he's got himself a job in that starting defensive line. When you're 32 years old, you weigh a little over 290, and you can run down those backs on screens. He may be around for a few more years.
Stays in the pocket, has Raymond Chester. He's inside the 30-yard line, and a fine tackle put on him across the way by Willie Buchanan, number 28. But that'll stop the clock again at 53 seconds. 53 seconds to go in the half. Martini has replaced Bradshaw, who limped off, and Martini is wide right. Branch is to the left. Casper is back in the ball game and in motion to the right. And Stabler pumps once. Stabler gets the ball, delivers it, and Casper can hold on to it at the 12-yard line. 47 seconds to go.
That's his first chance to make a play downfield all year long. He's only been in training camp for a short period of time. I didn't see Dave Casper miss a ball that was this easy to catch all last year. He says he feels like he's okay. Obviously, he's not as ready as he will be in a few weeks. This is a chance to make a big play and help the club. He let it get away.
And that was right in his hands, as you can see. But as John also said, like a training camp, first catch of the year, or attempted catch. And now Martini and Branch both come left. It is second down. Whoops. Flag down. And the ball is delivered to nobody. Stabler, 9 of 16 for 89 yards. He's been intercepted twice. Once by Lowe, and for Lowe, that is his first career touchdown. He's the man that almost had Stabler last year when Stabler fumbled the ball forward. Robisky makes an appearance. He's been hurt since the Dallas game. Stabler back, has a time, delivers it out there, and it is inside the 10-yard line. Preston makes the stop of Raymond Chester, who is having another good day as he did a week ago against the Rams.
You know, when he was in Baltimore, so many people said he didn't react to the ball very well. He had good speed and good hands, but he didn't react. I've seen him react to the ball very well since he's been here.
18 seconds to go, and into the end zone. It is no good, and Branch says, hey. All right, Martini wide right. It's second down, 16 seconds to go in the half. Stabler maybe checking off at the line. Looked as though he was.
Blitz.
And dumps it out here for nobody because Whittington hadn't even had a chance to turn around.
Pardon me?
I beg your pardon. Branch. I'm looking at Whittington, and Branch comes down with the ball.
Well, Branch took a quick slant coming right toward the goal line, and it did look from up here as if he might have flipped it toward Whittington, but Stabler was going to the wide receiver all the way.
Watch me. I'm looking with the pump here.
Well, once you get inside your outside quarterback, all he has to do is lay it in the middle and let Branch take over the rest of the play. He did that, and they've got an excellent chance to score.
Well, I tell you, we have 8 seconds to go, and the ball has ball for 13 plays thus far in this drive. It began at the 17-yard line. Now they've got 2 fullbacks in there. And let's see what they do. Here comes a man in motion, and there's the flip, and we have not a touchdown. Van Egan had the ball in his hands. Going down at the time, that took 3 seconds.
He did have it in his hands, Jim, but it was a bad throw.
And here's another thing, John. It is 4th down.
We only saw the end of the play, Jimmy, and Van Egan had to stop and come back on the ball. He was wide open. Sometimes when you get so wide open, your arm gets a little locked.
Ball from the 2-yard line. Big impetus for the Raiders if they make it. Big charge for the Chargers if they don't. 4th down from the 2. Stabler's going to try to run it in and not make it.
Can he make a first down, and does he have time?
Clock shows nothing left. Everybody's leaving. Whether or not he made the first time.
This was just one of those sacks. He's pursued. Finally, number 76, John Banaszak, puts him away. Bradshaw, on the other hand, was extremely efficient. Play action fake to Harris, and then Sid Thornton in the end zone. 17-0 Steelers at this point. Show you what kind of day it was for Pastrany. We'll watch right here. Pump fakes, rolls to his left. He goes to throw, but Laurentais comes down on his right arm. It was ruled a fumble, and Pastrany had to be carried from the field with a bruised right arm. His replacement did no better either. Gifford Nielsen fires. This time, Dirk Winston, number 53, picks it off and goes in for the score to put the Steelers on top 38-7 at that point. Last week, this was in the third quarter. Ken Anderson, Cincinnati missed him for the first 8 games, and they were powerless. They went 0-8. And Anderson had some trouble early on here. This was in the third quarter early on, and Isaiah Robertson, number 58, picks him off and goes 23 yards for the score that put Buffalo on top 24-10. But when Anderson was on, he was on really good. And watch this 73-yard hookup with Billy Brooks, the Oklahoma Flash. He splits the secondary and scores to make it 24-17 at this point. Later in the third quarter, Roland Hooks, who scored 4 touchdowns, and watch what he does here. The fourth-year man from North Carolina State, 1 tackle, 2 tackle. He breaks the third and goes 33 yards for a score, 31-17.
Really haven't gotten back in the ball game.
It is 21-3. Touchdown passes, 24 yards to John Jefferson, 54 yards to wide-open Bob Klein, and Woodrow Lowe returned an interception for his first ever touchdown on the yard line. Could not get in, contained at the end of the first half. And now San Diego will get the football again. It's picked up by Bauer across the way, and Hank is out across the 20-yard line and down at the 23-yard. Tight end. It is Shields and Washington the tackle, Oddick and White the guards, and Masick at center. And Mike Thomas is starting the second half, along with Clarence Williams in the backfield. First down, Mike Thomas has the football and has some yardage across the 25-yard line up to the 27, where Lester Hayes made the stop. Jones, Perrin, Browning, the front 3, Henderson, Johnson, Villapiano, and Martin, the linebackers, Hayes and Jackson at the corners, and Phillips and Tatum, the safety. Second down and 5 to go.
San Diego really didn't move the ball very well on the ground in the first half either, Jim. When they have moved it well, they've moved it to the right side over White and Washington, and I think we can look for a little bit more of that.
Well, they've been looking for a consistent running attack. They did not have it in preseason. Came up with one against Seattle. Trying to maintain it today. And now a quick pitch. And this is Williams getting the ball just across the 25 and may have lost a yard on the play, and it's third down. Hendricks and Villapiano. Pretty good names and pretty good linebackers, aren't they? Ted Hendricks and Phil Villapiano.
And when you go along with Monty Johnson, who's trimmed down about 15 pounds, he's only weighing about 235 pounds now due to the new style of defense the Raiders are playing. They are a bit more active, too, up front. They're shutting the run down a little better than they have in the past. They definitely miss Matusak today. He's been playing very well for the past couple of years, and his shoulder injury definitely hurts him.
Third down and 5.5 to go. Jefferson in motion, and Fouts back to throw. Fouts across the middle and behind his intended receiver Jefferson. It's fourth down. Now Jeff West will come on to do the punting, but Rolf Benerska will not be back today. He has a possible rib separation, so they'll have to go to the drawing board, as the New Orleans Saints had to do today in their game when they could not use Russell Erksleben because he was out with a pulled muscle. Ira Matthews goes deep, and the Raiders, who were stymied at the end of the first half, will get the ball back in fairly good field position, barring some kind of mishap. West, who's been averaging 30 yards on his punt, will punt this from about the 18-yard line, and this is straight up. Great hang time, and they'll call for the fair catch, and Matthews has it, but at the 40-yard line. So Stabler comes on from the 40-yard line, and in overtime, Tampa wide right and branches to the left. And Stabler's back to throw on first down. Gets the ball over the center and has his man, and that is Whittington across the 45-yard line out to the 47. That is a pickup of 7 yards, and the tackle is made by Ray Preston. So it is second down and 3, and the Raiders come back throwing. Seattle and Miami. It is 9-3 in the third quarter. Well, they got their man up there, Jim Zorn, outstanding quarterback, but they managed only 16 points last week, and thus far Seattle's only got 3 points. And, of course, Miami's got a fine offense, but has not scored too many points last week or this week.
And those points came after the outcome was no longer in doubt.
There's Whittington, and Whittington goes for the first down across midfield, and a flag goes down as Whittington goes down on about the 40.
Foul on number 27 of the defense.
Glenn Edwards. Glenn Edwards, after Whittington was hit, Edwards, the flag was drawn and is charged with a personal foul, and that's 15 big ones. And the Raiders are getting back in business, it looks like, as they're at the 34. And Egan and Robisky being spotted today. Terry, after that injury in the Dallas preseason game, and for his second down. That is Robisky in motion. And Van Egan straight ahead, and boy, is he hit at the line of scrimmage. May have picked up a yard or two. Bob Horn in the middle made the stop.
You're going to hear a lot more of Bob Horn in the near future now that San Diego has a good football team. You haven't seen many All-Pros from the San Diego area. You will in the near future because their football team is winning. They'll be on nationally televised football games, and people will get to recognize names that they haven't seen in the past. And Horn is one they will see a lot of.
2nd and 9. 2nd and long for Stabler. Wilbur Young is not in there. DeJournay is in there. Young got a hand in the eye. He'll be back. Stabler loops it and has his man Branch over here, and it's out of bounds. Hit Branch just before the end of the first half, slanting across the middle. This time takes him outside with a pattern, and it is 3rd and long. And the San Diego defense again rises up.
And Glenn Edwards made a fine move out to the sideline to keep Stabler from leading Branch down the field more. The only place he could really throw it was a real tight area just at the sideline. He overthrew it a little.
Well, you wonder what they're calling as Whittington comes back in because it is 3rd and long. Charges may be coming, figuring that Stabler's going to throw. He puts both his wide receivers, Martini and Branch, wide to the left. Has time and has the man, and that is Raymond Chester, first down inside the 25-yard line. Chester has yet another catch. Raymond Chester.
Jimmy, that was an excellent play by the offensive line. The defensive line for the Chargers has been getting to Stabler a little earlier than they did on this occasion. They tried to blitz with one linebacker, 5 rushers. Nobody touched a hand on Kenny. Here's Raymond Chester. There's obviously a lot of room in the middle. Horn's trying to take him all by himself. Chester adjusts, makes a good play, and picks up a first down.
7 catches for Raymond Chester for 85 yards. First down. Casper now in there. Time, and a man wide open. He's got it, Martini. Touchdown.
Okay, Stabler has moved this club at will the last 2 times he's had the ball. They've still only got 9 points to show for it, but they've got about 26 minutes left to go to play in this football game, and the baby is back in the hat.
You know, at halftime, I asked someone to find out what the halftime score was last year. As you take a look at this, we'll tell you what happened. There's Martini. At one time, it was 20-7, and the Raiders came up with 14 in the 4th quarter, including that immaculate deception play when time had gone out, when it looked like the Chargers had it all wrapped up. And at 21-3, well, who knows? Here's Breach in to add the extra point, and he does successfully. Chargers are still up by 11 points. And now Breach will kick this ball off. And it's a big hit. That's Ray Guy kicking the ball off, and Artie Owens decides not to bring it out. And I don't blame him. That ball Guy, I talk about his punting. We forget the fact that he does kick off, and he can really put the ball in the air. Now, they're going to have another little altercation apparently down here. Jones is in the middle of it, and the officials are moving into the middle of it.
Well, that's a good idea because this game is on the brink right now. Oakland has moved the ball very well the last 2 times they've had it. San Diego has not touched the ball for a long time. This drive is very critical. San Diego knows it must move the ball. The Raiders have to stand tough defensively. If they can do that, they can get Oakland back in it.
Bouts at one time, as we said, was 5 of 6. But lately, his totals read 9 of 18 for 159 yards. And remember, the 3rd Charger touchdown came on an interception. The Raider defense, without Matuzak, must be doing something right, but the Chargers have looked awfully good. And there's a whoops off the hands of the intended receiver. And he'll pick himself up very slowly. Charlie Joyner out there. Little high thrown by Fouts.
It was a little early, Jim, is the real problem. It was high, and when the ball is a bit high, you don't react to it as well as you would when you have to make the quick reaction to a low ball.
Joyner again wide left, and Jefferson comes to the right. Mike Thomas is in the backfield along with Clarence Williams, and that is Thomas swinging out in motion. And there's Clarence Williams trying to swing outside, gets outside the linebacker, but right there with him is number 73, Dave Browning, to make the stop. And now it's going to be 3rd down, and again it becomes a big play for Dan Fouts and the San Diego offense, which has done so well, especially through the 1st quarter. If they don't get it, they got to kick it away, and the Raider offense has looked awfully good.
Well, in the first half, when the Chargers needed 8 or 9 yards, they put Jefferson over the middle. They've thrown a couple screens that were effective. The Raiders seem to have adjusted to that. They've got to come up with something new. This is a big 3rd and 8 situation. They've got to keep the ball going.
They brought Kellen Winslow in as a 3rd wide receiver. Joyner and Jefferson both wide right, and Winslow to the left. Now Jefferson in motion on 3rd down and 7 to go, and the throw is going to be caught. How about that, and guess who? J.J. John Jefferson out near the 40-yard line.
I'll tell you, this is how they handle it. They had run Jefferson across the middle 4 or 5 times earlier in the game. He was open. Oakland did close that gap. As a result, Fouts was 1 step ahead. He ran Jefferson in motion up the field. Instead of going across the middle, he went back to the corner, and he hit him right on the break for a 1st down.
Well, he was an all-rookie selection. He was in the Pro Bowl last year. He had 2 catches before today, and he's made some outstanding catches today, one of which was for 24 yards and a touchdown, and this is nearly as important, a 1st down, a gain of 16 yards. 1st down out to the 38-yard line, and Fouts will hand this ball off to Clarence Williams, who gets across the 40-yard line. And they're saying that he fumbled. That is what the Raiders are saying, not the officials who just spot the ball down. Let's watch it.
You can tell there's a lot of action in the middle of the football field. Dave Pear got moved out of the middle by Masek. However, he got pretty good reaction back to the ball and held it to a 4.5-yard gain. You got to give that a break even. Half offense, half defense.
9 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. It's 21-10. And San Diego leads it. Jefferson in motion. The ball is given to Mike Thomas, who threads his way out to the 45, perhaps the 46. It's going to be 3rd down and short. From San Diego, let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
KCST-TV, San Diego.
Temperature at 3rd quarter. 3rd down and short. And a flag goes, and who did what? Offside, and that's going to give it 1st down, San Diego.
That was a well-cadenced call by Fouts. He held up just a little bit. Raiders got a little anxious, and it's a 1st down for San Diego.
I guess they figure turnabout's fair play. Stabler did the same thing to them.
You bet. And while we're watching this, I'd like to congratulate a couple of our pals in the camera area. Both George Loomis and Brian Sharif were given Emmys. Last night it was voted for on the Dick Clark Show. They're also doing a fine job today, along with our producer, George Finkel, and director, John Gonzalez. And there's a lot of action yet to shoot.
1st down from the 49-yard line. 21-10 the score. San Diego's got the lead and the ball. And they've lost it again. That's about the 3rd time on the exchange from center. And you can see Oakland got it. That is the 3rd time. It happened once to Oakland. That's the 3rd time.
I know the Raiders and the Chargers do the same thing. And it's just so you can avoid silly little mistakes like this. This is the 2nd one.
And he has just caught a pass for a touchdown. Now Stabler dumps this out to Van Egan, who's back up to the line of scrimmage, and a couple of yards more. Good open field tackle by Woodrow Lowe, who is very much in evidence here this afternoon, including that touchdown return of an interception. And Phil Villapiano has been very much in evidence also, tackling and falling on loose balls.
It's been my observation that Stabler is much more reticent, or much more willing to throw to his backs when his primary receivers are covered, and he's just come off very well. A lot of times his primary receivers have not had time to complete their pattern. He's had to come off to a back, and they've either gotten back to the line of scrimmage or picked up a few yards.
2nd down, and there goes Whittington, and not very far, does he? Boy, good tackle by Ray Preston, number 52. Aside from this last drive, when San Diego was moving the football, only to lose it on the snap from center, they've not really moved the football on their own since the 1st quarter. With nearly 2 minutes to go, they scored their 2nd touchdown. Their 3rd touchdown was on an interception.
And that's a good point. They moved the ball very well early, but they moved it on trick plays, screen passes, little play action passes. They have not won the game at the line of scrimmage as of late, and you have to credit the Oakland D's.
But here's a big play now, 3rd down and 9. And guess what Stabler's going to try to do? Under a rush, gets the ball away, and he hits the official, who drops the ball.
I thought he could have caught it.
I thought he should have had it. Lou Palazzi flunked.
How do you get out of that way? Okay, Stabler would like to throw the ball across the field. It's a crossing pattern. Takes a little time to develop. He sees that he's got nobody to throw it to. Yeah, so I think he's just getting even.
You give the ball away now, kicking it away to Mike Fuller, and Ray Guy is coming on. I think I talked about Ray Guy an awful lot in the first quarter because Oakland was giving up the football, but he has not been around much since. This is only his 4th punt. His last one was a 56-yarder. This one he angles toward the sidelines, and Fuller watches it go out of bounds.
Ball again, Jimmy. Against Miami, and they're pressing for the goal, and they're ahead 10-9.
That is a big game there, and Fouts and company looping it down the sideline for Kellen Winslow. Dropped the ball, and they'll say it's incomplete, that he did not hold on to it long enough. Winslow has made one big catch today and dropped another. That's the second ball he's dropped. He took quite a shot after taking about a step and a half.
We mentioned that he weighs over 250 pounds. He's 6'5". Fouts threw that ball right at the proper place, and he came out of his pattern in good shape, had the ball on the dead run, and trying to stay in bounds.